Hey everyone, and welcome to the week 7 of the OD7MUSIC course. In week 6, we focused on something very powerful, musical communication and listening, and also musical memory and quick learning. We talked about how to stay connected as a choir, how to truly listen, and how to know your part with confidence. A link to that class will be dropped in the comment section. So today we are taking a step further. We are moving from just singing right to actually making people feel something. Now let's get into it. Have you ever been to a concert or listened to a song and it was, technically perfect, but you just felt nothing? And then another time you hear a performance that maybe wasn't 100% flawless, but it gave you chills. Today we are going to get into that magic. We are talking about the art of making music that actually connects, that really moves people. This just says it all, doesn't it? The whole ball game is not about just getting the notes right. It's about making sure the message, the feeling actually lands. That's our goal here. To make the audience feel the story we are trying to tell. So, let's start with the problem itself. We've all been there, right? You are listening to a performance that should be amazing, but it just feels hollow. All the right pieces are there, but it's just kind of flat. This is the big mystery we are going to unravel today. And it's a really good question. You can have two different groups sing the exact same song, same key, same arrangement, and one just hits you right in the heart, and the other one just doesn't. So, what's the secret ingredient? Think of it like this. Okay, you got a choir A. They are technically perfect. Every note is precise. Every harmony is totally locked in. Then you have choir B. They're also really skilled, but their performance is just alive. It's breathing. They're the ones who get the standing ovation. They are the ones who make you feel something long after the song is over. So here it is, the big review. It's not about one choir being better singers than the other. The difference isn't really skill, it's expression. It's all about the soul, the story, the why behind the notes. Alright, so how do we learn to sing with that kind of soul? Well, it starts with understanding the language of emotion in music. And our first tool for that is something called dynamics. Now, most of us hear the word dynamics and we just think, okay, that's for loud and soft. But it's so much more than that. Dynamics is about shaping the journey. It's controlled intensity. It's asking the right questions. When does the song need to build? When does it need to pull back? And where? Where is that big emotional payoff? Every song has an emotional map. The verse is where you are setting the scene, telling the story. It's usually a little more intimate. Then the pre-chorus starts to build that tension, that anticipation, and the chorus is the big emotional release. Then you have the bridge, which is often the most personal, the most vulnerable part of the whole song. When you get this shape, you can use dynamics to take the listener on that ride with you. And this quote just nails it. Look at it here. Contrast is everything. If you are singing it full blast the whole time, it's just exhausting for the listener. And if you are always quiet, the emotional punch never really lands. All the power, all the meaning is in the space between the loud and the soft. Okay, so once we get a handle on expression through dynamics, then we can unlock a whole other level of music making. This next tool is incredibly powerful, but you have to be careful because it can also be pretty dangerous. And that something is improvisation. Vocal riffs, runs, ad-libs, when you use it the right way, man, it can take a song to a whole other place emotionally and spiritually. But when it's used the wrong way, it can totally wreck the song's foundation. So let's be super clear about what good improvisation actually is and what it isn't. It is not showing off. It is not a free-for-all where you just sing whatever you feel like. Real, effective improvisation is controlled creativity. It comes from a deep understanding of the music, and its only purpose is to enhance the emotion that's already there. This right here, this is the classic problems you see in so many choirs and bands. Everybody wants to be the one adding their own little cool thing, their own flourish. But if everyone's decorating the cake, who is actually holding it up? You see, you need people who are committed to that solid foundation. So how do we use this amazing tool without creating total chaos? The answer is this idea of freedom within structure. See, true artistry isn't about having no rules. It's about knowing the rules so well that you know exactly when and how to bend them for emotional effect. If you remember one thing about improvisation, remember this. This is a golden rule. Before you sing a single extra note, Ask yourself, is this for the song or is this for me? If it pulls focus away from the main message, it's wrong. And this chart is a fantastic practical guide. You see, you don't start riffing when everyone needs to sound like one voice, like in a tight harmony or unison section. The time for that freedom is in solo moments, in the little spaces between sections, or in specific parts where the director intentionally makes room for it. So how do you even start training for that kind of discipline? You start super simple. A basic 3-note run. Do, re, mi, re, do. You run it up and down. It's not about being fancy. It's about building that muscle control, one clean note at a time. And this is a huge mindset shift. So many singers think a good riff is a fast riff. No. A clean, clear, perfectly in tune run will always be more powerful than some fast, sloppy mess. The goal is clarity, always. I love this line and it's a powerful idea for any creative group. Freedom isn't something you just take for yourself whenever you want. It's a responsibility. It's earned and it's given to you once you have shown you have the discipline and the musical taste to handle it. Alright, so we've covered dynamics. That's the language of emotion. And we've covered disciplined improvisation. That's our controlled creativity. Now let's pull it all together and talk about what the real end goal is. The journey always starts here with the basics. A trained choir sings the right notes. You have to have the technical foundation, that's step one. From there you get to the next level. A great choir moves beyond just being correct and they start to sing beautifully. The sound is polished, it's pleasant, it sounds really, really good. But there is one more step, the very top. The thing that separates the really good from the unforgettable. An excellent choir makes people feel something. They don't just make sound. They communicate a message. They don't just perform a song. They connect with a soul. And that leaves us with one last big question we have to ask ourselves. In our own music, is our goal just to be correct or is it to truly connect?